Hey, it's Maddie, and welcome to a new weekly reading vlog. So I'm actually currently on a road trip, and I decided to stop at my favorite place in the forest. And I feel like it's so perfect for the book that I'm actually reading right now. So I just picked up The Midnight Feast. I'm on page 72, well, actually 73, because I'm about to start the summer journal. So I'm very excited to continue reading this, and I feel like it was the perfect book to pick up first because I'm going through a road trip in the forest, and part of this story talks about this lore surrounding the forest. So the locals have been told since they were young not to mess around with the forest because there's some things that can go on. And then there's this super bougie manor that just got created kind of by that forest that the locals have always talked about. And so the head person to the manor and then also the guests that are staying there are kind of duking it out with the locals because the locals are like, hey, we've been here forever and you're stomping on our grounds. And then the manor owner's like, look, this is our property now. We're going to do what we want. So there's a lot of tension between those two. You're following the perspective of Eddie, and he actually is a local. He lives on a farm close by, but he is currently working at the manor, and he's having interactions with a few different people. And you get the perspective of Bella, who's one of the guests. There are some suspicious things going on with Francesca, who is just not super caring about like anybody. And then there's Owen, who is just an interesting character. He's Francesca's husband who did the architecture for this manor, but he's got some secrets of his own as well. So you're following all these different perspectives, and now we're starting to get some like snippets from a summer journal that one of the characters just dug up, but I won't go into any more than that because I don't want to give any spoilers. But obviously, there's a body that ends up getting found. And in the synopsis, it also says, on a Sunday morning of opening weekend, the local police are called. There's been a fire, a body's been discovered, and something's not right with the guests. So I'm very excited to continue listening to this. So after I go hang out at the stream for a few minutes, I'm going to continue listening to this on the rest of my drive. I am honestly enjoying it. I feel like Lucy Foley's writing is super cozy and mysterious and just like has this undertone of eeriness to it, and I do enjoy her for that. The only book that, well, there's a couple backlist books I haven't read, but out of her like main super popular books, The Paris Apartment, The Guest List, and The Hunting Party, I've only not read The Hunting Party. I did honestly really enjoy The Paris Apartment, and I did like The Guest List. Like, I thought that was a solid thriller, and then The Paris Apartment I really did enjoy a lot. For me, there's a lot of hope for me to really enjoy this. And like I said, I am enjoying it already so far. And I feel like part of that is also just the atmosphere I'm around because I am in the forest already. So it's making it a little bit more eerie. And there's all these things that are going on. Plus, I'm just totally zoned in because I'm just driving and I have nothing but my audiobook and the beautiful surroundings. And I just feel like that always amplifies any book that you're listening to. So I'm having just such an amazing time right now. So I'm going to go, like I said, check out the stream and then hit the road again. I hate leaving this spot because it just brings me so much peace. I love stopping here whenever I can. But yeah, I just thought I would let you know what I'm reading, start the vlog, and I will update you when I've made some more progress in the Midnight Feast. Okay, so I'm about to head into work, but I quickly wanted to update you because I did finish The Midnight Feast and I actually really enjoyed it. I think what I loved the most about it was the atmosphere, and I really enjoyed reading from the perspective of the summer journal. I think once that kicked in, it was so interesting to follow the past timeline and kind of connect it back to the present. I think that was really fun, and I did really like hearing from all the different characters. I definitely had my favorites, like Francesca. She was absolutely unhinged and I was kind of here for it. But I would definitely classify this story more as a murder mystery because you're really trying to solve this murder that happened in the small town and then following a few different characters and how they connect back to this town and to each other. So that's more how I would go into the book, because I do feel like marking it as a thriller is kind of a disservice to the story because it really does have like this cozy feel, and that's what I loved so much about it. It's not just the atmosphere but just the feeling I got when reading it. And like I said, being out in the forest while reading this really amped up my enjoyment because I was in the surrounding where the story was set, so it felt even more eerie to me. And I just love reading stories in the setting that they're written because I feel like every time it just makes the experience so much better. Like, I can't even explain it. So I loved the way that I read this story, and I definitely think that increased my enjoyment a lot instead of just reading it at home. So the next book I'm going to pick up is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I'm hoping I can get this done by this evening, but I do want to try to listen to it as much as I can at work today and try to get this read. I'm so excited. I have the audiobook loan, which is the only way I could really read it today. So I'm very excited, and that's why I wanted to prioritize this. This is a newer release. I'm not really sure what this is about, but I'm very excited for it regardless. So I will definitely get started on this and come back when I have an idea about what this is about, because I definitely want to go into this blind, but I'm so excited for it. And apparently I'm just going with like the neon green for this video, which I'm honestly here for. So I'm going to head into work and I will check in with you a little later. You ever look at past pictures of yourself and realize this girl had no idea what was coming for her? That's me with the previous clip. I had no idea how crazy the last couple weeks were gonna be, but here we are. I did end up finishing Middle of the Night. So essentially, there's this character named Ethan. You're following him in a past timeline as well as the present timeline. When he was a kid, he was sleeping in the tent with his best friend, Billy, and his best friend ends up getting taken out of this tent while they're sleeping. And Ethan just carries around a ton of guilt about this. And he had moved on, moved out of this town, lived his life, but due to things that are happening in his personal life, he ended up moving into his parents' old home. And I can't remember what they're doing, but they took off. So he's living in their old home and he's returned back to this town. He starts making connections again with people that he knew back when Billy went missing, but he's never really been able to let go of Billy going missing. He has a lot of guilt that he carries around because of that, and especially him being back in this town and all the suspicious stuff starting to happen. He definitely goes on this deep investigation to try to uncover what is going on, and then you start learning about all the town secrets. And I really like that you got the past and present timeline because you got to see snippets before Billy even goes missing, and you get to see some of these characters that he's reconnecting with and see them at a younger age. There was a couple times where the author actually had those characters' perspectives, just like a little snippet of it. It wasn't a huge part of the story, but I thought that was cool because then you get to see things from their eyes in certain timelines, and I thought that was super interesting. When I was reading this, I was really visualizing it as like a TV show. I think that this would make a phenomenal TV show, to be honest. And I was kind of watching it all play out in front of my eyes, which was making it so much more interesting as if it already were a TV show. I'm trying to think of like a show that I could compare it to because it has a very specific vibe, like a very, very, very specific vibe. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's not just like any old TV show. Like it would have to be done a very specific way. And I can totally envision it in my mind, but I can't quite bring that like out of my head to explain it to you. But if it was done in this way, it could be pretty cool, honestly. So that's kind of my thoughts on Middle of the Night. I'm not sure if I'm gonna read something else or in the video here because it has been so while. So while what? It has been a while and I definitely want to get this video up for you. I might just do a couple chill things this evening and then end it out then. I don't know. Let me sit on it and we will figure out what we're doing. So I decided to knock another book off the TBR because I kid you not, I have been checking out this book 6 or 7 times from Libby and I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. It's due in a couple of days and it fits the theme of this neon green thriller cover that I did for this video. Totally unintentional, but I'm not mad about it. And I did really enjoy this book. I liked the writing. I would definitely read more from this author. I think the only thing that I'll say is I did kind of guess what was going to happen from before halfway through. There wasn't anything that really led me to think that. I think it was just instinct of I knew what was going to happen. And there's a couple sentences where I was like, I guess I also expected it to get a little bit more unhinged. I mean, it still was a wild ride, but I thought it was going to be like next level unhinged, and it wasn't exactly that. But I did enjoy myself, like I said. I did enjoy the writing style. I think it also would have been super cool if we had gotten more perspectives. It would have muddied the waters a little bit more and led to more questions because I did have quite a few questions throughout the book and things that I wanted to uncover. And I think if we had had more perspectives, it would have done that a little bit more. I think the thing that really was just not it for me was the infidelity piece. It was such a huge part of the story, and that was just not it for me. So that's kind of my thoughts. But like I said, I did enjoy the book overall. I did enjoy the writing. I would definitely check out more from this author. I definitely had a lot of questions and was curious how everything ended. I think the ending was kind of wild. Even though I did kind of figure out what was going on, I didn't expect it to go down in that way. And like I said, I still had so many questions and I still wasn't like 100% sure. I just kind of had the feeling it was going to lead there, and I wasn't as shocked as if I didn't have a feeling that that might be the case. But that's it for me. I'm so excited though because after I end out this video, I'm immediately starting a productivity vlog, and I think it's going to be a new series that I want to do each month or most months as much as I can because I feel like my job kind of just takes over my whole life right now, and that's just not it. So I really need something to ground me and focus me on things that I need to get done in my personal life, setting goals for the following month, finishing up any goals I have for the current month, reading as many books as I can, just doing a refresh in my life completely. And I think doing a fun productivity vlog where I just focus all my energy on being productive in my personal life, I feel like is just going to be so cathartic. So I'm very excited. So let me know if you've read any of these books, what your thoughts are, and I hope to see you in my productivity vlog.